I was thinking in my head, mini tacos. Like
I know. I was on my way to. I was halfway on my way to Tops mentally. I really was. Oh Jesus Christ!
Like mini tacos and rescue me, but
God hates me right now. All right, here we go. All right, welcome everybody to take 2 of the Marvel Minute. Me and Trevitt are going to do our best to bring to you some fresh takes on Guardians of the Galaxy 150 after we just blew our wad with something that didn't record at all. Mostly 100% my fault. Hand up. Yep. So here we go. Writer Jerry Duggan, art team Aaron Cooter and Marcus 2. Ian Herring, what's his name from 90210?
Ian Ziering, Steve.
Ian Ziering's much more handsome cousin, and Marvel Comics is the publishing company. So here we go. We're doing this again. We really are. On the day of the Bills playoff game, I forgot to hit record, and now I'm up against time for the rest of the day.
And we made it through the whole entire thing.
And now I'm not being interrupted by my girlfriend. What?
So it's kind of funny. We made it through the whole entire recording this entire episode, and then we had to start again. So here we are.
Day's turning into a disaster. But yeah, anyway, we're talking Guardians 150. Everything's all fucked up. This is the final issue of the Guardians of the Galaxy, but fear not for the Guardians. They won't be gone for long. So what are our slightly different from the movie ragtag group of heroes going to be doing in this finale? Guarding Infinity Stones, fighting Raptors, and hopefully talking a member out of quitting. Oh my. Let's check out the simultaneous final issue and prelude to the hunt for the stones right now. All right. We're doing this again, and the issue starts with Adam Warlock possibly remembering visions of his past while skipping stones in a lake, what we think are just stones, possibly also just a beach full of infinity stones, while wandering also through an empty abyss, kind of coming to with his past moments and future moments all at once. What he initially thinks is a beautiful sight quickly turns dark when he's told he's witnessing destruction by basically a version of himself. He looks out into the river. He sees a bunch of dead heroes, mainly Guardians, what we think looks like He-Man / Cable, and the Incredible Hulk. And all face down in this water dead. He's told the clash of stones is upon us, and time has no meaning. So yeah, that's what's going on here. All of a sudden, he wakes up in a bed. Looks like it was all a nightmare. He's pissed, kind of angry. He looks like having these reoccurring nightmares. He's trying to figure out what's going on, and in frustration punches the mirror in front of him. And behind that reveals another vast desert-looking area to wander through. So like he just had a deja vu type dream almost. Warlock, is trying to make sense of things. He basically is realizing he is dead. He's back in the soul world. And he's on a journey to possibly be free as he takes his stuff and starts heading on out. Any Adam Warlock thoughts there again?
Oh man, I don't even remember what I said last time. I think no, I can't remember what I said last time.
Yeah, it's basically just like him trapped in the Soul Stone.
Yeah, something about Soul World. Soul Stone, right? No, yeah, technically it's called
the
Soul
Stone.
Yeah.
The one Vision has, or is that not a thing anymore?
That was only a thing. That's only in the movies. It's just a crystal in Vision's head. Adam Warlock actually had the Soul Stone in his head in the comics.
Okay.
They kind of just did it. They kind of just did it with Vision in the movies. But this whole thing with the Soul World is like a big thing with Adam Warlock. It's kind of his thing,
Yeah.
And it's also where Gamora's soul is stuck, which we saw in issue 3. Issue 3 took place in this Soul World in in the all new Guardians of the Galaxy before Legacy.
Yeah, before they changed the title name.
Mm.
But yeah, anyway, then we move on to, the Guardians section before we check back in on Adam Warlock at the end. And we have initially what is a group of Raptors disguised as Nova Corps men preparing an attack on the remaining members of the Nova Corps, since they're sensing, a weakness, and they're ready to reveal they're basically traitors now, right? Or are they just disguised?
They're just disguised. They the Nova Corps they grabbed up all the traitors, and they don't know that going in. See, like, they think that they got the Nova Corps fooled because they had all the traitors in their midst, but they ended up capturing all of the traitors. So the Nova Corps totally knows they're coming. So they're walking into a trap, thinking that the Nova Corps is in the trap, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, and they walk head on into the main members. The Guardians who have been serving as Nova Corps members. And they are immediately shitting their pants. So then we get, a Nova versus Nova fight breaking out, which you got to kind of look closely at to see who's fighting who. The bad guys basically have the claws out, so that's a big determining factor. We get kind of our scenes of the issue here with Drax trying to refrain from killing somebody, accidentally kill somebody, as he throws him into a set of the Raptor members' Wolverine claws. Rocket heads outside. He starts taking down attacking forces out in space with his guns and his Nova powers. So he's loving life. And then Ant-Man steps up to the table big time, sensing some trouble. He gets the idea to shrink himself and ride the beam light through the shields of this Raptor ship that's giving them problems. And once inside, pulls his sweet move and expands to giant man size, blowing the ship to goddamn smithereens and taking it down from the inside. Because I'm like, what the fuck is Ant-Man going to do? He just, I thought he was going to and my first initial thought was he's just going to stay small and start screwing with the controls, pull kind of an Ant-Man technology type thing. But no, he does the opposite.
I really like that they took the opportunity to show how useful and cool Ant-Man can actually be. Like I said earlier in the previous, like, he pulled an atom and went subatomic, which for him is a little dangerous, but in DC for the atom is something he does normally, and just traveled through that light beam through the shield and just ends up like being like all James Bond and kicking everyone's ass, and then boom, just explodes the ship, which was pretty fucking dope.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. God damn it. I'm really fucking this re-record up. I have no fun. I've lost all my momentum. I feel like the first cut was a lot better podcast than we're giving you right now. But anyway, a group of Raptor. Oh, already did that part. Rocket, rescues a passed out Scott Lang because going huge, kind of knocks him out, takes him out of things for a little bit. I know what I was going to say. I feel like Giant Man used to be a lot bigger thing in the olden days. Like it didn't, fuck him up as much. So he would do it a lot more, and he'd kind of hang out and fight that way for longer periods.
But it's not something Scott does all the time. His daughter, his daughter did when she was at the Young Avengers. She used to be called Stature, and that was her thing. She could go small, but she would always go giant.
Yeah, so I've never read that. I didn't know his daughter used to be on a team at all, actually. I think I read a wiki about it, but never even gave it second thought and let it stick in my brain. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I miss Giant Man moments is kind of my point of bringing that all up. But we do have this final traitor kind of in the wings because, knocking that ship out really took the steam out of the Raptors' engines. They don't really have much of a threat left, but he's overhearing some information he really shouldn't be hearing, but really doesn't get far with it because he's quickly beheaded by Gamora as his life ends. Rich Rider Nova suddenly arrives, answering the distress call that was put out, but most of the battling already being done. All he can really do is provide the team with some news about what's this planet's name, because I've spelled it horribly in my notes. I have Telephersia. That can't be right.
Oh,
Telephernia?
Okay. Tefernia.
Tefernia. Which is where the
My
celestial
bad.
bad old man Gardner is building the Groot army.
California.
California.
I did it wrong.
There we go.
California.
And he's got a baby Groot, well, not a baby Groot army. He's got a big Groot army, which is affecting Groot, who is baby Groot's abilities. He's like really stressed thin, I guess is the point they've made, and can't.
And they finally found that out. They killed a Groot in like an issue ago, 2 issues ago, and then Groot grew in size after they killed it, and they were like, "Oh my god, this is what's affecting you."
Yeah, they finally figured it out. It took them 20 issues, but anyway, once they get this information, Peter kind of decides what the next, idea for the team would be, what they're going to do next, because they're not going to be Novas anymore. They are going to this planet California to solve this group problem once and for all, and then continue the hunt for the stones they're looking for. But at the same time, Drax's big reveal is he's not going to continue on with the Guardians in their hunt and their fight because of his new beliefs. What's he, Buddhist now, or Hindu, or Islamic?
Yeah, he's Buddhist.
Okay. Like he's not fighting anybody anymore. He's all about peace.
During Civil War, remember when they had the Grounded storyline? Then everybody kind of had their solo series because they were stuck on Earth, and Drax got all involved in Buddhism. So
that's where that comes from, if you're interested. But Peter decides, well, Drax, why don't you come with me for this little mini trip here, and maybe I got something for you to do. So they go to this planet. Starts with a Z. Sounds like a Chinese name, kind of.
Zai-Chuang.
There you go. And what is hidden here is a giant power stone. And Drax is going to be taking over for guarding this. Peter basically promises him it will be a more peaceful mission. It won't involve any killing, and he can, basically rest here and keep it safe. During all that fighting, however, the Nova signal was compromised and hacked by a lady named Talinda. And she supposedly claims to have info on the hidings of this power stone. That Peter knows where it's at. And he's basically been keeping that information to himself. So Peter knows, Rich Rider knows, right?
Yeah, Rich Rider knows, and Peter knows. Now Drax, and then a couple of Novas that have been guarding the Power Stone.
And that's it. None of the other Guardians know. Except for whoever she's selling this information to. And that's the big kind of what if of this. Drax isn't really going to get his peaceful rest, probably, is what it's looking like, because she's trying to pawn this information off to the highest bidder and ends up looking like captured and compromised by the Chitauri, who have demanded she give up the info or be killed, because they want to be free of Thanos' reign. And
then don't forget the Skrulls and all the Ultrons. Drax is so screwed. It's going to be an army of...
It's about 5 or 6 different groups all converging on poor Drax, and maybe Peter and Richard, but the rest of the team will definitely be pissed when they find out this was a secret kept, a la, very Batman-esque drama going on here. The book begins its... Yeah. She's going to be real pissed. The book begins its conclusion, checking back in on Adam Warlock, who stumbles into a version of an older Gamora on his journey through this desert, looking for kind of his way out. Adam learns that he's 100% in the Soul Gem, that it's a prison, and that he is its warden. And as he basically finds all this information out, I don't know if that's the cue he needs to resurrect himself, or if he's just finally fully powered up, but he vanishes right in front of Gamora's eyes. As she asks, basically, what about the rest of us? And he ends up popping up out of his cocoon, stating that he's finally free, but not really, because now he's face to face with Kang the Conqueror. So this is going to involve some wheeling and dealing, or some punching of the face, one of the two. Usually wheeling and dealing with Kang's side of things, usually involving the time stream and whatnot.
sure he wants a piece of that time stone.
yeah. He wants stones, and he's going to try to cut a deal to get something probably. So buy, borrow, or forget. You know, like I said in the first take, this is a buy for me. I really like it. I had a few minor complaints, you know, mainly being little coloring issues. Like I like the space being brightly colored, dark backgrounds, but, you know, it's not a deal breaker. It doesn't hurt my enjoyment level of the book in any way, shape, or form. It's a good setup for what's coming up and getting me kind of a little amped for these events coming up, you know, the Infinity Stone stuff. Marvel is usually good at sucking me into these, and then my interest starts waning halfway through. But Stone stuff hasn't been a story done in a long time, I don't feel like. So it should be something that grabs me. And
probably about
with the movie
3
coming
years.
up, that's some good synergy there. So yeah, I like it. It's 100% buy for me, and you get my only really other beef is it's lacking a metal-esque checklist like all the other books I want to follow for all the stone information to keep it all, you know, a tight little continuity in my brain. But other than that, you know, it's a good story, good setup. It's a shame Guardians is ending, but it's continuing in another form basically, so don't be too sad for it.
And the bright side is
the same team basically too, so you know, it's really
that's a bright side. And then also, like, you know, Jerry Duggan is doing, like, so if you liked Guardians and you like the story that's going and you want more details on it, you're going to get that. So it's like basically the same book with more characters written by the same guy and the same artists. So it's so you're going to get more of what you like. So that's a bright side. And while we don't get the checklist, we do get that coming up next that Marvel has been doing in the background of all their books.
Kind of the
and you get, like, coming. You know, so you get the information that, you know, the Infinity Countdown Adam Warlock is going to be where you follow his story, and then Infinity Countdown Prime is where you're going to discover who has the Infinity Stones and where they've been. And then the Guardians stories and threads are going to story threads are going to continue in Infinity Countdown the series. And I see Wolverine on the cover, so we're going to see Wolverine in there too. So
in the next Spider-Man issue, his backup is supposed to be in it too.
Oh, nice! I saw the one
Wolverine tease.
Yeah, I saw the one in Captain America this week where, you know, in the beginning of the Captain America issue, Steve was in a bar. So at the end, after the issue ended, you get that little Wolverine appearance, and he shows up at the bar looking for Steve. So, but
oh, that's cool.
You know, he was asking the wrong guy because Steve was kind of set up in that bar and captured by named Craven. So so the bartender was the wrong guy to ask. But
so he's on the take.
He's on the take. He's on the take. So I'm gonna go through my final thoughts again. Luckily, I have them written down, so I don't have to try to remember them. So this book makes me really excited for Infinity Countdown. This was a good finale / prelude, I guess. The highlight was definitely the Ant-Man stuff for me when he rode that beam of light through the shield and grew huge and destroyed the ship. It was a big holy shit moment. The end of Drax's character arc was really good and a little funny at the end because you think he's going to get his piece and then he wasn't going to get any piece. The Adam Warlock moments were pretty cool. It felt like a Wonderland acid trip, but all in all, the story was very densely plotted issue, and not everything was tied up with a pretty bow. So I guess we'll have to wait for Infinity Countdown for a little more closure. And, you know, we already covered that. But with stuff like the Gardner and Robbie Ryder, because we did get, I think it was issue number 12 of Guardians of the Galaxy. It was 11 or 12. I know Roland Boschi did the art. It was a whole entire issue, not even about the Guardians. It was all about Robbie Ryder and how he was brainwashed by the fraternity of Raptors and how he became one of them and very hardcore about their cause. So the art by Aaron Kuder was fantastic, as usual. He did the vivid opening sequence for Adam Warlock, where we see Adam Warlock's state of mind. He's definitely going to be someone to watch this year. I hope he does more work on Infinity Countdown. I know Diodato is doing the Prime issue, but I hope he works on the Infinity Countdown stuff. He did a great job penciling the Soul World. He's got this type of style that was made for the Soul Worlds, like psychedelic shifting environment. Marcus 2's art was awesome also. He never disappoints. He had like very very good fluid motion action scenes with dynamic layouts. He was responsible for those incredible Ant-Man moments in the battle with the Fraternity of Raptors. Ian Herring's colors were okay, but like you said in the previous cast, they did that we didn't get to record. They do look a little. They do look a little washed out. I got used to it over the Legacy arc, and it's decent. But the previous colorist, Eve Savorsina's colors were a lot better. They were a lot darker and just deeper colors. They made more. They looked better on a cosmic story than these colors do. So I don't know why that guy moved off the book. I feel like they should have just kept him going the whole time. And yeah, it's definitely a buy for me. You know, one thing that makes me really sad though is that that this book had to end, because I don't think it would have ended if the sales weren't low. And I think Bendis kind of I think Bendis kind of ruined the title because
tarnished the name.
He really did. He really did.
So many people hated that run.
So many people hated that run. And
I've never read one issue of it, but yeah, I've never heard one person say they like it.
No. I made it through one trade, and then I just, because I had Steve McNiven art, and then I just never went to the second trade. I'm gonna get to it eventually, but I just never heard good things about it, and I heard it just gets worse and worse as it goes along. So he kind of ruined this for Jerry Duggan. I mean, you know, the story's still going to continue, and I hope there's a Guardians book after, like maybe after all this Infinity Countdown stuff ends, maybe they'll try to reboot it again, but who knows? We'll see. Beggars can't be choosers, right? So at least we're still getting the story.
Yeah, I know. It's coming. It's just coming in a different way than single numbered book that you can follow. It's the Marvel way nowadays. Yes, no, just buy the titles and then you'll get the information. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. Sorry if we sounded less interested the second time we had to record. I think we still got it all out there, but we recommend you buy it. So. Fun time. I am very distracted by the Bills today, so go Bills. Sorry, Taylor, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Don't forget to listen to Marvel Madness. We got this and 2 more books coming for you guys this week, and you know, continuing the Jean Grey extravaganza all month long. So if you're looking to hear about that, find us there. But we are wrapping things up. Peace out, guys, and adios.
Peace.